Flowers, 120 East Washington Street, Newcastle, with a wide variety of flowers for any occasion. Call Butts Flowers 724-652-7727 or toll free from anywhere 1-800-443-7726. It's Butts Flowers in downtown Newcastle.
Your favorite neighborhood pizza place. Everyone goes to Pizza Joe's. This program made possible by a grant from Pizza Joe's.
Gary's Wardrobe, furnished by Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors, 210 East Washington Street, Newcastle.
It's Focus NC with Gary West.
Thank you very much, and we want to thank our sponsors today, Pizza Joe's with 4 locations in Newcastle. Everyone goes to Pizza Joe's. Also Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors in downtown Newcastle, and Butts Flowers and Gifts, also in downtown Newcastle. This is segment 1 of Focus NC. Make sure you catch 2 and 3 as well. I want to welcome my guest today. She's the office manager of the Newcastle Playhouse, Peggy Hanna. Hi, Peggy.
Hi, nice to see you.
Glad to have you on the program. I know you're very busy down at the Newcastle Playhouse. And before we talk about the Playhouse, because there's so much going on, tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, well, I've lived in this area my whole life, out in Laurel, so I'm a country girl, so to speak. I spent several years working in community education at Jameson Hospital, and have just sort of done a lot of different things. I've been tutoring dyslexic children at the Children's Dyslexia Center located in the Scottish Rite Cathedral, and I've been involved at the Playhouse as a volunteer since 1995, and a variety of roles I've done there, not on stage, off stage roles, costumer, director, props, a little bit of everything. And just recently, in early part of March, the previous director decided she was not coming back after having her baby, and the board approached me and asked me if I would be interested in managing the office, and it sounded like something that was interesting and challenging, and I was ready for a change. So I'm still getting caught up to speed. So I've been there just a couple of months.
Sounds like a busy job. Are you there Monday through Friday?
Well, our hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. My schedule varies. I go in at 10 every day. Some days I leave at 2. Some days I'm there till 4. Some days I'm there much later. Just depends on what's happening. So it's a lot of flex time and just getting done what needs to be done. We have, when we have a show up and running or about to open, it's a lot busier. And then in between shows, it'll get a little quieter for a while, and we try to catch up on things. And then another show opens, and another opening, another show, and that's all that excitement. So.
Little history of the Newcastle Playhouse. In 1958, the Playhouse was incorporated as a nonprofit organization. And during the early years, Newcastle Playhouse used many venues. 1987, they purchased the old State Movie Theater, and that's their permanent home. So they've been there since 1987, and that's on the south side of Newcastle. A lot of improvements through the years.
Yes.
It is a good-looking theater.
Just since I've been there, since, like I said, 95, and it's amazing. It's not the same place as that I originally walked into back in spring of 95. It was a lot darker. It still had kind of the original look of when it was the State Theater. It's a totally different look to the place now, a lot brighter. Sound, a lot of improvements in the sound, the acoustics, lighting. Everyone just they enlarged the stage a bit. So
the seating is wonderful.
Very much so compared to what was there.
Yeah.
You used to have those ones you sat down and went in the air. They took out several seats because it was very crowded. So there's more space now. Put in an orchestra pit, which, might be confusing. Sometimes you'll go to see a certain show. We do have a cover for the pit.
Yeah, so where are the musicians? Yeah.
Sometimes we stick them backstage, and it just depends on the show, what it calls for. Sometimes you need to have that pit cover on for extra staging area. And then our children's musical that we do in the spring, that's all recorded, canned music.
And we're going to talk about that soon in another segment.
Yeah, so that you don't have a live orchestra in that case, and then they are able to utilize all that area.
And for those of you that haven't been to the new Castle Playhouse after the renovations, I suggest you check it out. I mean, you will be really impressed. Now, the Playhouse renovated the old garage behind it into a smaller annex theater. Tell us a little bit about that, too.
It's a much more intimate setting. That's where we do our plays. All the musicals are all in Augustine Auditorium, which is in the main building. The annex theater, it has, we have tables, square tables with chairs around them, so you can just sit in, kind of more casual setting, and you're just up much closer. So when you have, whether it's a comedy or a drama, you're just that much closer, to the actors, that you can really see their facial expressions up close, and it's just a whole different feel.
When was the annex theater put into play?
You caught me on that one. I know it was not being used in the mid-90s when I started there, so I would say probably toward the end of the 90s.
Is that annex theater used as much as the main theater?
We alternate back and forth. It's I think it's pretty even. Sometimes you might have 4 and 1 and 3, back and forth.
And real quick before we end segment 1, are there any plans for the future? More renovations?
We do have a fundraiser we're doing right now for some repairs and renovations. Some very necessary to the building renovations and repairs.
My guest is Peggy Hanna. She's the office manager at Newcastle Playhouse. They're located on the south side of Newcastle, and if you want to get any information or to make reservations, call 724-654-3437. And that website?
www.newcastleplayhouse, all one word, .org. You got to make sure and put the org in there.
Okay.
You won't find us.
Well, thank you, Peggy, and make sure you tune in for segments 2 and 3. This is Focus NC. I'm Gary West for NCTV 45.
Gary's Wardrobe, furnished by Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors, 210 East Washington Street, Newcastle.
Flowers, 120 East Washington Street, Newcastle, with a wide variety of flowers for any occasion. Call Butts Flowers, 724-652-7727, or toll free from anywhere, 1-800-443-7726. It's Butts Flowers in downtown Newcastle.
Your favorite neighborhood pizza place. Everyone goes to Pizza Joe's. This program made possible by a grant from Pizza Joe's.